Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Jonathan Vertsonis. Welcome back to another video of my YouTube channel where I'm actually filming this video from the other side of the world. I am on a holiday in Greece at the moment, and that's probably why the backdrop is a little bit different. I just wanted to come on here and just make a video really quickly just talking about why I feel like job seekers really struggle with their job search, and like one big reason that I just feel like needs to be talked about more, and it hasn't probably been given the attention that it deserves. And I've noticed this because I've recently started coaching more clients that are a little bit older, so not just entry level or university graduates, kind of like mid-tier people of their careers. And I've noticed that the problems that graduates have compared to mid-tier, even more senior candidates, it's all quite similar. So that's what I wanted to talk a bit about in this video, is just kind of outlining one big reason as to why you're struggling with your job search and what you can just do a little bit differently to help you stand out from the rest of your competition in this increasingly competitive and difficult market. So to start off is, and this is my only point in the video, but I'm obviously going to talk a lot about it, is you're just not being specific enough. I think one of the biggest problems I see from job seekers is that they assume that recruiters and hiring managers are mind readers. So for example, if I go on LinkedIn or I go on Reddit or other forums and whatnot, and I see people talk about what type of job they want, typically speaking, they're just going to say something like, I'm looking for a job in marketing, or I'm looking for a job in software, I'm looking for a job in coding, I'm looking for a job in all of these types of things. They'll just throw like one or two buzzwords, which at the end of the day, okay, you've given me something there. I understand your environment, but I don't know too much more. I don't know if you're junior. I don't know if you're senior. I don't know if you like to work in a big company, in a small company. I don't know at what point in the production cycle do you like to work in. For example, if I came to you and said, I want to work in recruitment. Okay, what type of recruitment? Do you like to work in temporary, in permanent? Do you like to specialize in screening? Do you like the relationship building? What type of environment do you want to work in? Do you want to work for a bigger team? Do you want to work in a fast-paced environment? Do you want to work for a smaller company? All of these types of things I need to know so I can kind of piece together the puzzle that little bit more. And I think the biggest problem is when I speak to job seekers across all ages, everyone tells me, Jonathan, I'm open to anything. I'm open to a lot of different opportunities. And for that, I genuinely think that is your biggest problem, okay? Reason being is, guys, when you are open to everything, you stand for nothing, okay? And what I mean by this is that throughout our school system and throughout university as well, I noticed very, very clearly, there was a clear message put out to us as young job seekers, once we enter the professional world, is to be open-minded. There's no problem with being open-minded, but the problem is you're not giving the company anything when you tell them these things. So from a networking perspective, when you're telling me that you're open to a job in marketing, or for example, if I go in and I interview you and you tell me you're open to anything at the moment, like, when I ask you, what does an ideal environment look like? And you tell me I'm open to a wide range of things, to me, all that tells me is that you are a real risk potential, and that is something that you need to be reducing in job interviews and when you're speaking to recruiters in general, okay? At the end of the day, guys, the recruitment process is extremely time costly. It's a massive hit to the company, to their time, to their money, to everything that they're trying to maximize. The recruiting process takes a hit on that. Okay, so your job is, when you're speaking to these people, you need to fill them with confidence and not risk that when they hire you, they're not going to be in this exact same position in 2 or 3 months' time. Okay, that is super, super important. That is a super important principle that you need to learn. You need to carry this through the entire process. Okay, so whether you are trying to network, even if it is just as small as including it in your bio on LinkedIn, that same principle needs to be as clear and as specific as possible and carried through the entire way in which you are going out throughout your hiring process or your job seeking process. Okay. Reason being is, again, guys, is when you're speaking to these recruiters, you need them to be able to paint the best picture for you as possible. And there's a second layer to that, okay? It's not just about so they know if you're a fit for this particular opportunity. If I go to you and say, I want a job in medical recruitment and I'd love to work in a smaller team where the culture is, we're all quite close, but it's not that the expectations are not too intense, I already know that if someone's interviewing me and they go, okay, maybe this opportunity isn't for you, Jonathan. Now that we've built that rapport and we have a good relationship as well, which if you'd watch my other videos, you know how to actually build relationships with recruiters. Once you get all of that, they will then know, okay, if this opportunity isn't for them, because I was so specific, they'll be able to point me to a better direction moving forward. Now, that doesn't have to be right there and then. They may not say to me, look, for this opportunity, it's a no, but I have another opportunity over here, go for it. They may reach out to you in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks time. You know, remember, you are a proactive candidate, so you are going to be keeping in touch anyways. Okay, but it's super important because you can get other opportunities like this, and also referrals. They may be able to tell you, look, Jonathan, for this opportunity, I know that the boss has really high expectations and the turnaround of employees is quite high, so I think you'd be better off suited at my friend Nick's company. I'll give you his number and you can contact him from there. Little things like that. It's super easy to build those connections as soon as possible, particularly if you go through a recruitment agency. I remember this at my first job. I would be interviewing a candidate for a particular company, for a particular role that they applied for, speak to them, suss them out a little bit, and then I would go, you know what, they're not a fit for this company because I can't see the 100% alignment there. However, we are working on 3 other opportunities. I can put them forward for these jobs if they're interested. You know, so already now that you're more specific with me, I can paint a better picture for you and I can help point you in a better direction. You just need to meet me halfway. Okay, guys, and it's that attention to detail that's going to separate you from 95, even 98% of other candidates. Okay, guys, that is your biggest thing. That is going to be your Achilles heel. That is going to be the way that you stand out from other candidates and not be held back. Okay, I hope you guys got some value from this video. If you are interested in working with me on a one-to-one level, or you'd like to see more of the resources that I offer, please feel free to click the link below. More than happy to have a conversation with you guys, and you guys can learn a little bit more from me there too. I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.